If there was ever a group of people that had a reason to be afraid, it would be the disciples. They were out in a boat one night and a huge storm blew up. The waves and the wind were just overwhelming to them and they were scared to death. And then to make it worse, Jesus comes out walking on the water in the middle of the night and they think he's a ghost. It says in Matthew chapter 14, verse 25, Jesus came walking on the water, and when the disciples saw him walking on the water, they were troubled, saying, "It's a ghost," and they cried out in fear. They were looking at the situation, and their response was fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid. Fear not." You know, Jesus' word and Jesus' presence is the key to overcoming fear. He says, "It's I. I'm here." And he spoke, and fear was able to be overcome. And Peter grabbed a hold of that, and he did a fascinating thing. In verse 28, he said, "Lord, if it really is you, command me to come to you walking on the water." And then Peter got out of the boat in the middle of this storm and is walking on the water toward Jesus. That is so awesome. I'm envious of him. What an incredible thing to do. I can't wait to see the video of that, and I can't wait to maybe do something like that. And Jesus said, "Come," and he came walking on the water. But then Peter made a major mistake, and he teaches us a huge lesson about fear and about faith. In verse 30 it says, "But when he, Peter, saw the wind was boisterous, he was afraid, and he began to sink, crying out, 'Lord, save me.'" When he took his eyes off Jesus and he looked at the waves and he looked at the wind, he became overcome with fear. And when he became overcome with fear, he began to sink. You know, you really can walk on the water, but you got to keep your eyes on Jesus. I found that the more that I focus on my problems, the more I give in to fear. The more I focus on Jesus, the more I am strong in faith. In fact, that's what Jesus said. Immediately, verse 31, Jesus stretched out his hand and caught Peter and said to him, "O you of little faith, why do you doubt?" And when they got in the boat, the wind ceased. And those that were with them in the boat, the other disciples, worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." The difference between fear, there's a difference between fear and faith. And you're either walking in one or the other. You're either walking in faith, trusting God, or you're walking in fear, consumed by your problems. How do you walk in faith? How do you not walk in fear? You keep your eyes focused on Jesus. Hebrews chapter 11 is the faith chapter, and there were no chapter divisions in the original writings of Scripture. And so as you come into what we call chapter 12, it tells us we're supposed to run with patience the race that's set before us, laying aside every weight and the sin that easily besets us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. You can walk in faith today. You can have victory over fear today if you will keep your eyes focused on Jesus.